Hi folks. About a week ago on the 1st of November, astronomers announced that they had found a monster planet orbiting around a small dwarf star, which is many light years away. It seems that astronomers have been discovering quite a few exoplanets as of late. In May of 2016, they announced the discovery of a star system, a series of 7 Earth-sized planets orbiting a dwarf sun, which they named TRAPPIST-1, a mini-solar system some 40 light-years from Earth. Now there are telltale signs of a giant planet orbiting a smaller star, which signifies that new planets are being found and documented with impressive regularity. Astronomers have validated more than 1,200 planets beyond our solar system thus far, and the numbers continue to rise. The newest discovery is one that goes against the grain of what scientists know about how planets form. The gas giant, which is comparable to Jupiter, is named after the powerful system of telescopes that are located in Chile, called NGTS, Next Generation Transit Survey. This is a planet that orbits a star that is only about half the size of our own sun, which in theory would seem impossible. It has always been assumed that smaller stars could not have enough excess material to form such large bodies, and so the discovery of this orbiting planet has come as a complete surprise to the scientific world. The planet is about 25% the radius of its host star, which is very significant when compared to the planet Jupiter, which is only 10% the radius of the Sun. The newly discovered planet is orbiting its star at a very close distance, causing the planet to experience a full year in the equivalent of just 3 Earth days. How such a planet could even exist is a mystery unfolding. As many of you have come to know and realize, our sun, the moon, and the stars are out of place and are behaving strangely. The Inuit elders of the North have spoken extensively on the shifting of the Earth and the irregular wobble for a number of years, and the Hopi ancestral generation warned the world in an address to the United Nations nearly 25 years ago that a great purification would come upon all people and all nations as punishment for their inability to act as responsible stewards of this planet which we call home. 100 years ago, on the 13th of October of 1917, an extraordinary event was said to have taken place before a very large crowd in the city of Fatima in Portugal. They referred to this event as the Miracle of the Sun, also known as the Miracle of Fatima. On this day, it was proclaimed that the Virgin Mary would appear and perform miracles. Newspapers published testimony from reporters and other people who claimed to have witnessed extraordinary solar activity, such as the sun appearing to dance or zigzag in the sky, careen towards the earth, or emit multicolored light and radiant colors. According to these reports, the event lasted approximately 10 minutes. In November of that year, an investigation was conducted from the concurring testimony of those who witnessed this extraordinary solar phenomenon, including reporters, government officials, as well as skeptics who were in attendance. The investigation concluded that the miracle of the sun was worthy of belief, and it was accepted into the doctrine of the Catholic teachings on October 13th of 1930. In 1951, on the 34th anniversary of this event in Fatima, the papal hierarchy informed the nearly 1 million people who were in attendance that the Pope, who was Pius XII, had also witnessed the miracle of the sun from the Vatican gardens. From that time forward, this miracle has had a significant impact on the devotional practices of many Catholics. There were, of course, a number of critical perspectives regarding this phenomenon, as there always is when something significant but controversial receives historical claim and notoriety. Proposed explanations for this miraculous event included the belief that witnesses were being deceived by their own senses due to a prolonged staring of the sun, causing them to see something unusual. What had happened on this day was quite astonishing, according to the many people who were in attendance. After a period of rain, the clouds broke and the sun then appeared as a spinning opaque disk in the sky, drawing closer to the earth before returning to its normal position. Witnesses said that their clothes and the ground, which had been saturated by the rain, suddenly became dry. According to a Catholic news journalist who was in attendance, the sun was suddenly surrounded by a scarlet flame, had been loosened in the sky, and was approaching the earth with a strong radiating heat. A reporter for the Lisbon newspaper indicated that the sun turned silver, enveloped in a gray light as it whirled and turned in a circle of broken clouds. Another witness indicated that the sun did not remain immobile. It spun around in a mad whirl as eyewitnesses clamored in awe. The witness went on to say that the sun loosened itself from the firmament and advanced upon the earth as if to crush it. There was a terrible sensation during those moments. A seminary professor who was in attendance proclaimed that the clouds were wrenched apart and the sun appeared in splendor. It began to revolve on its axis, sending forth multicolored flashes of light. The spectacle repeated itself 3 distinct times in a span of 10 minutes. The immense prodigy of the moment caused the multitude to be overcome, causing some to hide among the people and to throw themselves onto bended knee. To this day, the miracle of the sun event of October 13th, 1917, is considered by many as a spectacle of the most extraordinary kind and credibility. I wanted to provide you with a brief history of this solar phenomena, which occurred, according to multiple witnesses, because an event similar to the one that happened in Portugal that I just described also occurred in Nigeria. In this mass gathering of 50,000 spectators, along with all of the country's bishops, the phenomenon of the solar dance was seen just as it was in Fatima 100 years earlier. On October 13th, the reconsecration ceremony once again bared witness upon the multitude the miracle of the sun. Just like the events that transpired in 1917, this one began with a heavy downpour, was followed by the appearance of the sun changing colors and twirling about. What is so miraculous about this sun phenomena is that it has manifested itself in times of trouble. For Nigeria in particular, it is a time of great tension, unrest, and despair. It is a country with unequal distribution of resources, corruption, and impunity. The heavenly spectacle was intended to enlighten the downtrodden and to warn the multitude that great changes are upon the world, changes that can only be acknowledged through signs manifest in the heavens. With our sun behaving in strange ways, it brings us to this topic. Why is the United States conducting a series of national drills in preparation for solar-based storms that have the potential to knock out our power grid and plunge the country into darkness? The Department of Defense just completed another in a series of these exercises, whereby they simulate the impacts of a coronal mass ejection event on the power grid and on all forms of traditional communications. In October of 2016, President Obama signed an executive order that would coordinate efforts to prepare the nation for space weather events, such as a powerful magnetic storm on U.S. communication structures. The national blackout drills that have been implemented following this exercise order were not widely distributed to the media because the drill itself simulates a total grid collapse, which would then spark public fear. The most recent exercises, which were completed on November 6th, involved the Department of Defense, U.S. Army and Air Force organizations, and the amateur radio community for 3,143 U.S. counties. The exercises were designed to improve readiness, build cooperation and public awareness, and to better prepare and defend the nation. But are we being told everything we should know or need to know about the sudden importance of these drills and why they are being conducted with very little public notification or knowledge? There may actually be more to these drills than what we are being led to believe. A few days ago, one of our avid Facebook followers, who happens to be a superb video photographer, captured these images from Panama City Beach, Florida, showing a trio of objects appearing during sunset on November 2nd. Now, we did our own set of analysis on these images and drew our own conclusions based on the video evidence, which we will present here. But if you were to just examine these images, you might conclude that this is a type of sundog anomaly, or just the light reflecting through the clouds, or some other common explanation for what is seen. But when you carefully examine the video content, the objects that are seen in the images seem to take on a life of their own. The objects appear in unison during the video capture, actually manifesting themselves slightly below the sun, which can be seen in the opening in the clouds just above these objects. What is so incredibly unique about this video is that the objects of interest, in this case, the three very bright orbs, are casting their own beams of light onto the water. They are literally projecting their own source of light. So whether you wish to call this an unusual or unexplained atmospheric phenomenon, or visual proof that something is up there, really depends on your point of view. But intriguing captures such as this one make for exceptional conversation because it helps us to realize the world is full of mystery, and there are still many things that we do not fully comprehend regardless of our beliefs or our points of view. Listen to the video photographer as they explain the manifestation as it was happening.
Now you see the sun coming down, going behind the chemtrails, and the top is still bright, and also a little bit to the left side. Something is definitely on the bottom right side. I think it's about 5 o'clock position. Yeah, all these objects coming out here right now, and they're separating from each other, guys. To the left side you see something, to the right side you see sun in the middle and something is on top. Wow, that's unbelievable. Look at this. 3 suns at one time and still some other objects. Sun in the middle is gone, one on the right side is gone, and the one on the left side is gone right now, and you still have the light on top. Okay, the sun is gone. You still see the bright light on the top, some little light on the bottom, white light. That's what I got here, guys.
Strange activity is occurring in the direction of the sun. The atmospheric anomalies that are being manifest are an indication that something serious is taking place in our solar system. One of the biggest indicators that changes are upon us can be found deep within the Earth, where unrest is being unleashed in the manner of volcanic disturbances around the world. Impressive, frequent eruptions at Sinabung volcano in Indonesia has locals very worried that the big one is imminent. In Guatemala, the Fuego volcano has erupted for the 11th time in 2017, with 6 to 8 explosions per hour, producing tremendous ash plumes. There are turbine degassing noises happening every 5 minutes, and lava ejections are reaching 100 meters over the crater. Meanwhile, the Popocatépetl volcano exploded 4 times on November the 4th. On November 5th, a Strombolian explosion occurred accompanied by significant ashfall. Mexico's volcanic observatory, CENIPRAD, recorded 5 volcano-tectonic earthquakes in 3 days. In addition, sustained volcanic activity is being observed at the Ambe volcano, as this image is showing. Loud noises from incandescent explosions were seen and heard from the neighboring islands that comprise this volcanic region. The situation at the Ambe volcano is going from bad to worse. Government officials in Vanuatu are trying to downplay the significance of the activity, but these pictures tell a different story. There are dark clouds of gas and ash, with dense plumes reaching hundreds of meters into the atmosphere. If the images are accurate, then there is a big problem in Vanuatu that will only get worse. A level 2 warning has now been issued for Mount Lokan in Tomohon, Indonesia, where a 1.5 kilometer exclusion zone has been placed around the volcanic edifice as pressure continues to accumulate within the volcano. The Mayan volcano is showing very unusual behavior. The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology has raised the alert level of the Mayan volcano to level 1 after 25 volcanic earthquakes, 91 over the past 2 days, and with higher than normal sulfur dioxide emissions being recorded. In Peru, the Sabancaya volcano has been averaging 57 explosions per day, with columns of gas and ash reaching 3,800 meters above the crater. The pace of the changes we now see is quickening. One cannot help but look in awe and wonderment at what is happening around us. The events that have been described in this presentation are more of the signs that are being manifest prior to the great day of purification that has been prophesied by both the Inuit and the Hopi civilizations. In their prophecy, the Hopi elders have said that near the day of purification there would be cobwebs spun to and fro in the sky. Therefore, it would be wise to heed their wisdom and their knowledge regarding the ways of the world. The signs are all around us. They will continue for a time. But now is the time to look to the sky, for it is there that all things will be revealed.